You're listening to Music Tectonics.
Hey, welcome to Music Tectonics at Midem. We are on Midem Beach in Cannes, in France. And I'm here with God Hinkis from Jambl. Jambl in the house.
Yeah, baby.
He came to Midem for the first time, entered Midemlab, and came away with the award.
Yo, this is the legendary Jambl rap pitch that won in Midem 2019. This is the story how it all started. I'm improvising this music live right now as I'm giving you the pitch. Listen. Okay. When I was a little kid, my daddy bought a piano. Every time I tried to play it, my daddy was like, hell no. If you want to learn to play, you have to practice every day. I thought to myself, okay, there's got to be a better way. Now I can play no instrument, but that never stopped me from playing music. Since that day that I invented the Jambl app, now you too can use it. You go up to play high, you go down to play low, you go right to play fast, and left to play slow. We got the drums, bass, chords, and melody. Make a little loop on every channel. That's how you make a beat. That's how you make a Jambl. Then you add a video, put it on your story, bro. You don't have to be a pro now. Everyone can make music. Go.
Nice one.
Thanks a lot, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having this.
It was the music creation education category, and the most awesome pitch ever. Rapped his entire pitch, was really something else. Yeah, we thought we'd catch up with you a little bit. Let's just jump right in. What is Jambl? How do you explain it to an audio audience and a video audience that's not going to necessarily see it?
So Jambl is a very fast and intuitive way to create music from scratch for people who have no idea what they're doing. The people you couldn't even never touch the instrument before in your life, or never thought that you could make music. We're trying to democratize music creation and have it though that everyone is a musician, because we believe that human beings are we're all naturally musically gifted. It's kind of part of our DNA, and we live in a world where we think that most people think that music is for musicians, air quotes, and we believe that making music should be for everyone, and the benefits of music should be available to everyone, and that's what we're pursuing. And that's why we created the Jambl app, which is basically a very fun, friendly way to start making beats, electronic music, rap, hip-hop, a lot of different genres. Basically any genre you can imagine that is groove-based, you can do with that.
So where did you get the actual original idea? Where do you come from? How did this start? How long have you been working on it?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Israel. So my story is that as a child, I was always fascinated with the music, but I did not have the patience to sit down and practice an instrument. I rather play Nintendo. But being a stubborn kid, I eventually at high school I discovered, you can make music with a computer, and luckily for me, I'm a computer nerd. So that just became the love of my life, and I started producing music every day and getting into it more and more. But I always had the barrier, and this is something that every electronic musician usually comes to face with. When you don't have any music theory, when you cannot play any instrument, you're gonna sweat and you're gonna work much harder to get the same result that someone that knows how to play the keyboard would come up with an instant. It's because the difference is when you're actually play an instrument, you have music in your head, and it comes out through your fingers in less than a split second. It's instant. And that in electronic music, it's not instant. You have to sit down and program the notes and find something that matches. Whereas if you're a singer or you're a keyboard player, just like, ooh, da da dee da doodly da da da. See, I just invented that. Maybe it's shit, but whatever. So that was always my problem as a producer. And I played a lot of shows, and then I moved to Berlin 10 years ago to focus on my music and make a living with music. I formed a band called Dirty Honkers. We play electro swing music. I recommend everybody. Maybe you can put in the links or something because it's a really funny band. We have a lot of cool videos. And in this band, I started. It's electro swing, so I played with jazz musicians. So I also wanted to play and improvise. So I started to develop my own tools because I saw that everything that's available on the market is like what DJs use is very complex to set up. It's a lot of buttons. You have a complicated process. So I started to see, okay, how can I make music with a joystick? How can I make music with a Nintendo Wii or like?
So did you do that? Did you play with those things?
Yeah. So I started basically looking whatever cheap technology I could get my hands on, and just connect it. And with my knowledge on like production software like Ableton Live, I started to create these prototypes for instruments that I started using on stage. And then I've been doing that for the last 10 years, and I fell in love with basic. These tools that I created were so useful for me as a musician that wanted to improvise and just play music in a fun way, not like think too much.
Do you have a stage name for that stuff?
Well, my stage name is DJ Neckbreaker, and the Dirty Honkers is where I did a lot of the early like instruments that I worked with. I still play with the joystick in shows. We still tour around Europe. After that, I also created with a bunch of artists. We created an art collective called Polyjam, which was about creating interactive parties. And what does that mean? That means we had a sculptor, an artist, sound designer, and me, that we would create objects that ordinary people that go to a party, instead of listening to music, they can play the music. That was the idea.
We got to get you out at Music Tectonics, our LA event in October, man. We got to build this.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
We can make a residency if you want and bring a few like tech people, bring some artists, create an object and make like interactive installation.
Yeah, this sounds awesome. This is what Music Tectonics is about,
really,
man. Mixing it up. Yeah, it's really a B2B conference, more for the recording industry and around innovation, but the experience is what makes all the difference. So this is a conversation to be had still yet. One of our Midem finds here.
Nice
Love it.
one.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Yeah, great to meet you.
So, yeah, likewise, man. Were you already programming? Did you do some of the programming yourself? What's the story? What's your team? All that?
So to all you nerds out there, I'll let you know what's going on. So I'm not a developer per se, but I work with Max for Live. So it's basically a way to create plugins for Ableton Live, which is a production software. I started just by using the tools available in Ableton and finding ways to connect like a joystick to it, and how do I turn that into MIDI, and then I started, I reached the limit of what was possible, so I had to create my own plugins. And I also have some plugins available for the public for Ableton. And then I said, now I want, and then I created the prototype on the app with tools available, but it was not standalone. I had to use Ableton for that. And then I found a developer that agreed to, Roy Werner, shout out, agreed to actually build it so it's standalone, so we can put it on the App Store. But I am not a developer myself. I created the prototype, and I just have this burning passion to give the joy of music to every single person on the face of the earth.
Is it free to use? What's the business model?
So it's a free app. We have a few, and how it works is that you have different sample packs inside. We call them jam packs, and each jam pack you can create infinite amount of music with it. Every time you can create something totally different, but it uses a certain tempo, certain selection of sounds, a scale, but you create your own melody and your own beat and everything. So each jam pack we create in different genres. We also work with musicians that they create. We work to create these packs, so that's a way for musicians to engage their fans and to monetize their sound in kind of a new interactive model. And we when the app is free, you get around 6 to 7 jam packs for free, and the rest you either buy them, or you subscribe to get everything.
Oh, the whole package and new stuff as it emerges, everything.
And every week we have at least one pack coming out.
And it's an iPhone and Android?
Right now it's just iPhone, but I guess
worldwide?
Worldwide, yeah.
Nice. Cool. And you're working on Android someday?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, not right now, but as soon as there's the budget in, and hopefully this Midem contributed to getting our second round coming. So that would be once we get that closed, the round is closed. We're gonna start working on Android.
How far along are you in terms of traction? You got a lot of users?
We're kind of still early stage. We have had about 70,000 installs so far, and we have about now 15,000 monthly active, a bit more than that maybe. But right now we are not focusing on major growth. The main focus right now is know how to monetize the users perfectly. And the cool news there is that we're actually already broke even on the user economics. So if we spend $1 to get a user, we get a $1 back on average.
Not too shabby.
For music tech, that's pretty good. So the plan is we're fundraising now so we can actually triple the customer acquisition costs or more. And then we're going to build a community in the app, which is now not available. Right now, you make a beat, you're on your own. You can share it online. You can share it on social media, but we don't have our dedicated platform, and that's what we want to build.
Right, and that's an opportunity for also the beat makers to monetize at some point, or
Okay, that's an interesting conversation. So, there's so many opportunities here. It's pretty cool. So, if you're a producer, band, beat maker that has an audience, you can monetize that audience and your sound through Jambl by working with us to create a pack and promote it with your audience. And then we split the revenue from the sales and from the subscriptions according to how many people downloaded your pack. We split that 50-50 with the artists, the profits.
Okay.
That's one thing. The other thing is that fan engagement online is something that a lot of musicians are they're not models, they're not comedians, and social media, Instagram, it's very demanding for you to all the time show yourself, show the backstage, talk to your fans. This is a way for musicians to have a musical dialogue with their fans.
Where they can collaborate. So, for example, if you're an artist, you can have a pack on Jambl, and now you can tell your audience, hey, I'm inviting you guys to create music with my sounds, and I want to listen to what you got, and I'm going to make a competition. And the winner of the competition, we can get a sponsor. I don't know, Nike can provide a new pair of sneakers for the winner. And so there's interesting opportunities for musicians to get involved. Can musicians and artists take what they make on Jambl and then release it commercially?
Right now, if you make a beat and you export it and you turn it into a track, it's yours. But absolutely, in our near to long term, 6 months runway, we plan to implement a licensing system that when you export something, we can track which samples you used and your username and profile. And if your track goes to YouTube and has 100 million views, the user is going to be able to monetize that because it's going to be licensed automatically.
Right, and if they put it on Apple Music and Spotify, and
also
it's
going to be licensed. So basically, imagine
your portion of the revenue will only be for their rental of the subscription pack, not in the actual streaming or playing of the track later.
Honestly, I haven't designed the model to that amount, to that detail, to that level.
Still to be worked out.
Still to be worked out exactly what would be our share. What would be? I think it makes sense that we are sort of we're not only the instrument, we're also the stage, the studio, the label, and the channel. So I think it's okay for us to have a part of that, especially that we're allowing every single person to monetize their talent without anything, So it could be that the moment we have a big enough community, we would relax a bit the subscription model to give more free content so that more talented people that can't afford the subscription can actually create amazing new music and an amazing new world of music,
Yeah. So let me reel it into Midem. So you mentioned you're hoping that maybe some investment will come out of this. Was that your primary goal in coming to Midem? What were you hoping to get, and how's it been going?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, we're raising right now 700,000 euros. We have some offers that are not final yet. So here in Midem is also to meet investors, talk to labels. I'm really interested to talk to independent labels, independent musicians that have a following. And besides that, we got invited to participate in the competition, so that was the main thing, and everything around that is a huge benefit. And just the attention and the recognition is a big part of it. Yeah. So
cool, man. And let me ask you, so Music Tectonics, the idea is you never know when a tidal wave is going to come. You don't know it's coming. You don't know when the hurricane's going to hit. But some people have their finger on the pulse. If you were to share with the music industry, what are the things that you think are coming down the road that only people, just certain people, are starting to hear the rumblings? What would be the things that you think the music industry should be paying attention to?
User-generated, we called it there's a few things, I guess. One is where we put our focus, and we believe that the post-streaming world is we call it the user-generated music industry. It's basically, I don't think it's going to take anything from the traditional music industry. It's going to create a parallel industry that the traditional industry, brands, advertisers, musicians, and end consumers, average people, everybody's going to be able to benefit from. And the idea is that it's a music industry for the average person that not even once. I say it like this. I like to think about it like this. Like 30 years ago, you had like Michael Jackson, or today you have Rihanna, or you have like Jay-Z and Beyonce. These are the people that give you impact in your life through music. In the future, it's going to be your sister and you and your girlfriend. And
that's good, man.
These are the people that would influence you emotionally in your music. It's going to be much more connected.
We talked, the first blog post at Music Tectonics was about some of the seismic shifts coming down the road, and one of them was that the means of production are in the hands of the masses. But what I like is you brought it one step further, and it's really that your emotional connection to music is going to be relational. It's not going to be just stars performing to fans. It's going to be people performing to people and making music around each other.
Like it was supposed to be.
Around the campfire.
Around the campfire. You know, that's where music came from. And I mean, in all what I'm doing, there's a very strong also like philosophical consciousness behind it. That what is the function of music in society in general? It's the function of music. It's a few functions, but a big part of it is to homogenize society and to homogenize culture and to make us feel like we're part of the same thing. And if you look at every religion, every culture on planet Earth, you have music in the center as a force that connects people. And I mean, whole revolutions in the advancement in humanity, music was always a part of that. And I think a part of why we're doing what we're doing is to advance the culture and have some cultural impact beyond just letting people have fun with music, actually bringing the culture and people closer together.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's great. All right, speaking of bringing people closer together, we've got this music tech audience at Music Tectonics. You're from Israel. You've lived a long time in Berlin. You spend time in Milan. What are some events or resources that you've stumbled upon that the music tech community might be into? Any kind of other conferences, festivals, competitions, anything that has been useful for you with Jambl, or just as you're kind of evolving these ideas?
Well, I highly recommend. We participated in a very nice accelerator program called Wallifornia. It's in Belgium. Great guys. It's a short program.
Coming up in July.
Yeah, it's a great program. They're like it's like 10 days. Very intense. A lot of experts, and it teaches you so much just about how to think in this industry and from every direction. Like really, there's a lot of content there, and just boom, boom, boom. A lot of lectures. You sit down, you take notes, you listen, you talk to investors. There's a great event. There's a huge festival right after it,
Is it a music tech-oriented festival, or is it more just a straight-up?
It's a music festival,
Yeah.
but basically this accelerator is leading up. The same people, they have also a music tech fund, so they're also investors, and they bring a lot of people from the US, investors and people from the industry, to meet, and they have like a demo day, pitch day, basically, at the festival. So. And you get to see great concerts also.
So, and just so people don't know, Wallonia, the name comes from this region of Belgium, Wallonia, is that how you say
exactly.
it? Wallonia.
Exactly, that's it.
And combined with this idea of California.
Yeah, I guess.
Silicon Valley, maybe, a little bit of that. So cool. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, God, it's been so awesome to have you on the podcast.
My pleasure.
And we're going to think and talk about how to get you out to Music Tectonics in LA in October.
I'd love to go. Maybe we can make some like workshops there. I'll be happy to do some cool shit.
Nice. All right, if you're listening just on audio, please hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app so you can stay tuned not only to Music Tectonics at Midem, but just plain old Crazy Pants Music
Crazy
Tectonics.
pants, crazy pants, crazy pants. Give me that crazy pants now. Give me that crazy pants. I wanna dance with the crazy pants. I'm gonna prance around, and then I'm gonna hit you with the sound. It's the Jambl bound.
Thanks so much for listening to Music Tectonics at Midem. It's a little mini-series we're doing, and we're just bringing you information about some of the music technology happenings at this music industry event. We are doing our own music industry event October 28th and 29th called Music Tectonics in Los Angeles. If you'd like to find out more information, go to musictectonics.com, sign up for our newsletter, and you'll also get a $50 discount code when you sign up. But if you're not going to do that, just hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service. We'll be back with more from Midem soon.
You're listening to Music Tectonics.